Xuan is uniquely one of the strangest classes in all of Maple. Insanely geared towards being an amazing bosser, boasting loads of lines and damage with everything they do, a very lean skill set that's pretty much all useful all the time, clones that theoretically could do everything for them without them having to lift a finger, and on top of all that, a combo class whose combos are as simple as a couple button presses. Oh, and they also have pretty good mobility, and plenty of options for how to play them. Once you figure out how all their skills work, they can be really fun for the right kind of person. So let's start there as per usual, explaining their skills. To kick off everything, Xuan's Link skill. Key Cultivation gives boss damage, and further gives more per stack as you attack said boss. You get 1 stack every 2 seconds, the stacks last for 5 seconds, and you get 6 stacks for a total of 24% boss damage if you keep attacking the boss. Really good Link skill for just about any character nowadays. It's honestly worth getting Xuan to level 210 just for this Link skill. Now for skills you can use. First off, all the mobility options. The expected typical flash jump, and up jump you can both use in the air or right from the ground if bound to a button on your keyboard. This backdash with a 6-second cooldown, and arrow flight, which lets you dash in nearly every direction except straight up or down. It has 5 charges, builds up 1 charge every 4 seconds, has no cooldown, and can very easily be chained into most of your attacks. Xuan arts are your spammable attacks. Each one has 2 separate attacks when pressed consecutively, and you get 1 for fists, known as Tian, and 1 for kicks, called D. To make things simpler from here on out, I'll just call them Punch and Kick, respectively. Both Punch and Kick get various new attacks called Divine Arts, which could either be used entirely on their own by themselves, or be further enhanced with bonus damage when chaining in from the Divine Arts' respective combo string, known as Form Link. They are all just big attacks that do big damage, and the form links for each usually are only just press punch or kick once before said Divine Art. First, the punch-focused Divine Arts. Erupting Flame has a 5-second cooldown, Righteous Thunder has a 45-second cooldown, and has an additional effect that crit binds enemies for 3 seconds, separate from the Global Bind cooldown. And Howling Storm is a skill you can hold down for 3 seconds, that finishes off with a big final blow, and gives resistances to knockback and debilitating statuses as you hold it down. 1 minute cooldown. Howling Storm is also unique in that you'll have to do 2 punches before using it for the Form Link bonus damage. If you put all these skills in your quick slots, it highlights which skills get Form Link enhanced after each attack you do. That is very helpful to do. There's also this gauge that tells you how many punches or kicks you've currently done, which may help not crane your neck down at your quick slots constantly. Now the Kick Divine Arts. Tearing Wind has an 8-second cooldown, and Swirling Tide has 2 separate kick attacks. You have to use that second kick within a 4 to 5 second window, otherwise it gets wasted. 15-second cooldown. We'll get 1 more Kick Divine Art at 5th job, so more on that later. Hair of the Divine is by far one of the most notable Xuan skills. It's the upgraded version of the Holy Mountain, which gives you stacks of final damage every time you successfully do a Form Link. These are called Divine Fist stacks. In addition to it boosting your Divine Fist's damage per stack up to now 10% each, and increasing the max stacks up to 5, resulting in 50% final damage for a whole minute, it also adds a new quirk to your gauge. Specifically, when you do the form links of Divine Arts in certain ways. Doing 2 form links in a row that are both derived from the same Xuan art gives you 25% reduced cooldown on that second form link you pull off. If the Xuan arts differ, it instead increases the final damage del of said attack by 50%. I'll simplify this further because this confused the hell out of me every time I revisited my Xuan, but now I've personally broken it down in a much easier to understand way. Do 2 kick-derived Divine Arts in a row, or 2 punch-derived Divine Arts in a row, and you'll reduce that second one's cooldown. Do a punch Divine Art into a kick Divine Art, or the other way around, and you'll instead get more damage. The easiest way to tell if you've pulled this off properly is either by turning your skill sound effects on, or by looking at the outer circle of the gauge. The first form link you do, no matter what, will always show this animation circling around it. Cast your second form link, and it'll either be this spinning circle animation for cooldown reduced, or this spiky animation for extra damage. As far as attacks go, that's about it for Momo. Well, Technically, there's this toggle called Key Projection that sends forth after images that do massive damage without you having to quite literally do anything except have it on and being in a map with enemies. Yeah, it's obviously meant to be used while you're attacking, but as of the time making this video, it works even without attacking. Just walk around and let them clean house. There's also Maple Warrior and Hero's Will, and a whole bunch of passives for various stats, mastery, bonus skill attack damage, knockback resistance, and also this unique one that constantly heals 3% of your max health and mana every 3 seconds, both in and out of combat. There's also a slightly hidden one called Xuan Spirit, which is a beginner skill tab passive you get from doing the Mojuan questline. It gives 10% final damage and crit damage, so absolutely get it when you have the time. Oh, there's also a few utility skills. Key Disruption is a basic class bind that's also a 2-second iframe, if you ever wanted to use it like that. 2-minute cooldown. Divine Fist Disciples is a party buff that boosts everyone's crit damage for 20 seconds, getting further enhanced if you have max stacks of Divine Fist when you initially use it, bringing its total up from 8% to 10% total crit damage for your party. Passively, it also boosts your own crit damage, 2-minute cooldown. Lastly, Key Shield reduces damage taken for 5 seconds, with the first's attack damage being reduced by 100%, including max health attacks. Past that first hit, it further decreases each subsequent hit's damage reduced by 15%, going down to a minimum of 20% damage reduced. This one passively reduces your damage taken too, 2-minute cooldown. Hyper skills, real quick. Solar Blackwind is a huge attack that makes you invincible while its animation plays out, and has a 1-minute cooldown. Secret Art, Strength Within, just maxes out your Divine Fist stacks right up to 5, as well as passively gives you some final damage, 1-minute cooldown. Aura Destiny is the epic adventure equivalent for Zhonghu classes, granting 10% damage for you and all other Mojuans or Lins in the party, 1-minute uptime, 2-minute cooldown. Hyper passives actually have a lot of really solid choices and options to choose from. Starting from Xuan Arts, also known as your punch and kick as previously mentioned. Ideally, you'll want Reinforce and Boss Rush for extra damage and boss damage respectively. Guard Break is also a decent choice, especially if your IED is a bit on the lower side, but since it'd only be counting towards your kicks and punches, I'd say save the point for something more fruitful, like Divine Arts Reinforce and Enhance, which reduces Reincarnation's cooldown by an extra 5%, bringing that up to 30%, and also gives 20% bonus final damage. Lastly, these three that don't share with any one skill Mojuan gets. Awaken Efficiency doubles your passive healing every 3 seconds, from 3% to 6%. Key Shield Reinforce gives an extra 10% damage reduction on Key Shield per every hit, and Divine Fist's Persist makes your stacks last an extra 30 seconds. Really, the objectional best choice here is Shield Reinforced, as less damage taken in boss fights is always extremely valuable for everyone. Persist is pointless since you can keep max stacks every minute either by clicking Strength Within or just doing the absolute minimum 1 Form Link combo every minute. Efficiency honestly isn't that bad, but it gets outclassed in the long run by Key Shield's upgrade. So yeah, these are the ideal Mojuan hyper passives, both suggested by the Mojuan Discord, and also that I personally, very strongly, agree with. Fifth job is so goddamn flashy. 3 Soul Arts and 1 final new Divine Art. First off, the Opened Gate is a 20-second buff that makes all your attacks crits, gives bonus crit damage, boosts your Xuan and Divine Art damage, and adds 2 extra lines of attack on all of them too, capping out at a maximum of 15 lines. 2-minute cooldown. The Conquered Self is another buff, this time focusing on boosting your key projection. In fact, it outright replaces it. You get double the projections and increased damage for 20 seconds, also 2-minute cooldown. Beneath Heaven is a huge damaging skill, doing massive damage and making you invincible for 3 seconds, also a 2-minute cooldown. Lastly, the Divine Art I referenced earlier. Crashing Earth does a big ol' attack all around you, and form linking into it from 2 kicks doubles its final damage, 1-minute cooldown. Alright, shared skills. For shared Zhonghu skills, Maple World Goddess's Blessing is just a buff that boosts the effectiveness of Maple Warrior and your damage for a minute, 2-minute cooldown. Power of Destiny is a skill that can use 4 different buffs through Ring of Samsara. The one caveat is you can only choose 1 skill per day, resetting around server reset time. All the skills have a 2-minute cooldown, and these are their effects. Might increases damage for a whole minute, Perceive increases IED for a whole minute, Boon gives flat attack and all stats for 90 seconds, and Journey increases normal enemy damage for 4 minutes. Typically, you'd really never want to consider any of these other than Might while bossing, and maybe Journey while grinding, if you plan on doing nothing but grinding for that whole day and you needed the damage. As for the pirate shared skills, let's keep the dice rolling with, loaded dice. It's also a buff selector skill, letting you choose from 1 to 6. This is what each number does, but just like Power of Destiny, there's only 2 main ones you'll ever want to care about, 5 for damage and 6 for extra XP. Now with your number selected, when you use Roll of the Dice, it'll go from randomly rolling a number to instead always choosing the number you picked through loaded dice. It also passively gives you some flat attack, 3-minute duration, and cooldown. Overdrive is a buff that lasts for 28 seconds at all levels, and boosts your attack by a percentage of your base weapon's attack power. After the buff ends, you are then 15% weaker until it comes back off cooldown. At level 1, that'll take 70 seconds from the moment you initially cast Overdrive, and at max level, 60 seconds, or 1 minute. So in actuality, you'll be ever so slightly weaker for 32 whole seconds. Ending off the 5th job section, priorities as to what skills you should max out first. Open Gate and Conquer Self are equally important for burst purposes, and those are followed up by Crashing Earth, and then Beneath Heaven. 6th job gives some really nice boosts for nearly everything. Heat Projection just gets standard damage increases, but your kick and punch do a ton more lines of damage, and all your Divine Arts get additional shockwave attacks for even more damage. The 2 exceptions being Howling Storm, which instead gets a more condensed burst from 3 seconds held down to 2, and over doubling its lines of damage from 5 to 12, or 8? And Black Wind just being a typical damage increase and nothing more. The 5th job boosts are also all mostly damage bumps, except the Open Gate, which gets an ever so slight duration and crit damage increase, alongside making your attacks even stronger. Zhonghu Dragon is Momo's origin, and it does one of the biggest punches known to mankind of all time, resulting in a load of damage, lets you keep your Divine Fist at max stacks for 2 minutes, and follows all that up at the very end with loads of extra attacks. Like, a lot. Also the usual origin functions of being invincible while the animation plays out, and binds the boss, 6-minute cooldown. The Ascent, where Destiny falls, is just a big ol' kick that stomps down and also more lines than I can count on my fingers. You're invincible while casting it, and it has a 4-minute cooldown outside of bosses, or 3 total uses per boss. You could very easily overcomplicate Xuan. You could just also not overcomplicate them, and still have a fairly simple understanding on how to play them well, by making them easy as such. This should be obvious, but keep Key Projection on forever for everything you do at all times. Maybe turn it off while in boss rooms just so you don't grief those. Even when you're not attacking, these projections are going crazy on anything they can get their projected hands or feet on. They're important. There's loads of macros from Xuan to utilize. Specifically, they're all derived from your kick, punch, and dash skills. Just about every order of these 3 will have different results. Putting 1 kick or 1 punch on their own macro will let you move bit by bit if you walk while holding said macro down, as opposed to normally holding down the button not letting you move as far. Putting 2 punches or kicks on a macro will let you press 1 less button to activate Howling Storm or Crashing Earth respectively, in addition to also letting you move forward while holding down the macro, like the one above. Dash on its own macro makes it feel smoother and more responsive. I can personally confirm this as I'm able to dash back and forth more consistently with the macro than without. Pairing dash with either a kick or punch allows you to immediately attack with that after you dash. And the last one I'll highlight is up jump into 2 kicks, which does a kick at the same time as your up jump, and an additional kick as you're nearing the apex of your jump. The one massive caveat about this class that you will be forced to get used to, no 2 ways around it, is either keeping an eye on your gauge, or putting your Divine Arts in your quick slots to know when they're ready to be used again. Putting them on quick slots also helps differentiate which ones get boosted from either kick or punch, by highlighting each when their form link variants are ready to pop off. It's not a huge issue, but I know that'll turn some people off from wanting to play this class. Arguably, in my opinion, it's Mojuan's weakest point, because it's not always fun keeping your eyes stationed at the bottom right corner of your screen watching them cooldowns. Though, all that said, that's more so for when you're trying to play this class optimally. If you're looking to just have fun or not be perfect right from the get-go, you can still get by absolutely fine using Strength Within to get 5 Divine Fist stacks, and then using all your other skills however you felt like. Go at your own pace, either just for the sole purpose of nabbing that amazing max level Link skill at 210, or for if you wanted to play this class more seriously, but just not right now. What might help make things easier is laying out your keyboard in accordance with the respective types of skills. Punch with Divine Arts of Erupting Flame, Righteous Thunder, and Howling Storm, and kick with Tearing Wind, Swirling Tide, and Crashing Earth. Mojuan uses a fair bit of buttons for all their various attacks, so keeping track of what is located where might help you make way more sense of things. It definitely helped me lay my quick slots out something like this, so I knew what skills were grouped up with each other. What might also help is using skill alarms to better know when your Divine Arts are off cooldown. Hell, you're not even beholden to just those. You could also toss in Divine Fist Disciples, in case you have cooldown skip and that ends up getting skipped for even more damage. For bossing, remember that Righteous Thunder's form link is a stun, separate from the global bind timer, meaning you and your whole party get an extra 3 seconds of bind time on a boss every 45 seconds. Just so long as you use it when the boss isn't currently bound. It won't extend the current bind time, and apparently it overrides the current bind timer, so be careful. Use these either for a longer burst window, or as utility to stop boss mechanics in a pinch if you ever so needed to. Mojuans are great for party play because of their passive crit damage buff that fits snugly in with your whole party's burst window for 20 whole seconds. As for non-party play, yeah, Mojuan is still an insane boss all on their own. To squeeze out more damage during your burst window, it's worth noting Beneath Heaven can be cancelled with Hero's Will. But curiously enough, not the 5th job variant, Will of Erda, just the 4th job version of Hero's Will. While yes, Mojuan does have invincibility skills, they're all tied to other skills. Beneath Heaven and Black Wind are both big damaging skills, and Key Disruption is your class bind. Your Ascent and Origin count as iframes too, and Ascent more so would be much more viable of an option in boss fights, given you get 3 uses per boss. As for the other skills, you might have to move around how you use those if you absolutely needed to iframe to save a life. One method would be to use Erda Nova in place of your bind, and instead use your class bind as an iframe, only while the boss's bind cooldown timer is active. While not ideal, another could be quick tapping any of the skills at the cost of misaligned burst windows and or losing out on a bit of damage during said next burst. Pick your fights wisely. So I'm putting the grinding section after the bossing section intentionally, due to there being a few methods for grinding, one of them deserving of its own section at the very end after I've explained these first two. Obviously, let's get this out of the way. Erda Fountain and Sol Janus are both great summons to have out to clear sections of the map you won't be frequenting. Okay, now the first method. You can be pretty active and fly around the map with arrow flight and punching and kicking enemies, remembering to keep your Divine Fist stacks up by doing a Link combo at least once every minute or so, or by pressing Strength Within. Second, you want to be lazy and don't want to move much? You don't have to. With Key Projection on, you can just attack with whatever attacks you damn well felt like throwing out, as your projections just slam all enemies near and around you, like that up jump into 2 kicks macro I talked about earlier. It's pretty fun. Third, there's one really cheap, extremely lazy way to grind that could also be potentially risky / bannable if you aren't careful about it. That being turning on Key Projection and just keep getting smacked around by enemies as they attack everything on screen. To make it even more effective, at 6th job, toss on Sol Janus Dusk, and watch as most of the entire screen wipes every spawn wave. Now, this isn't foolproof to the point where you can just turn it on, enter a map, and go sleep and wake up to a max level Mojuan. No, you stop attacking when you stay in one place for too long, thanks to how Maple's attack scaling system eventually forces you to move from the spot you stand in after a set amount of attacks. However, this can be technically circumvented by taking some skill points off your passive knockback resistance skills, such as 2nd job's high intensity training and or 4th job's aura. While this isn't the most efficient way to grind, It definitely is lazy and achievable by anyone with only a couple button clicks of effort. Like, I wrote part of this guide just doing this grinding method, and in about 40 minutes I got about roughly 5,000 kills. Not amazing, but also not nothing. This could very well change in the near future, and I imagine there's a very good chance it will be, but it's still an interesting grinding method I wanted to document. Though, again, as with any method of farming in Maple that's very lazy and nearly automatic, I'll warn and advise you that you should always be present at your computer at all times, so you're not actually just AFK training, resulting in a clear-cut reason for Nexon to smack down your account with a ban. Grind at your own risk. So, the form links are Mojuan's combo system, with the Divine Arts getting enhanced effects, and whatever second Divine Art you use in said link strings getting either reduced cooldown or even more damage. Learning how to get those out first is the most important, and not at all hard. Each form link will always be minimum 2, up to maximum 4 button presses. Without the double fist or double kick macros, 3 to 4. So once you get comfortable remembering what buttons do which attacks, you're then left to decide 2 things. 1. Will you chain your first form link into another shared arts for less cooldown, or misalign them for more damage? And 2. What will you link into after you use it? There's no be-all end-all flow to follow for absolutely certain for Momo, but generally you'd want to save your longer cooldown Divine Arts like Howling Storm and Crashing Earth for your main and mini bursts, up every 2 and 1 minutes, respectively. I could go over all the example combos in the Mojuan Discord, but even they say to form your own repertoire of combos, get better at getting them out as efficiently as possible, and figure out your own personal attack flows. In general, it seems as long as you focus on cycling around the shorter cooldown Divine Arts and saving the bigger ones for burst, everything else is up to whatever you feel most comfortable using. So practice form links and flowing them into other form links, then adapt them for however your situation demands it. Also, remembering that Swirling Tide gets 2 kicks, regardless if you form link or not. That's a free extra kick. If you get really good at figuring out Mojuan's form links and Divine Arts, having a Cooldown Hat could help bump your damage even higher, but only once you're a lot more familiar with proper form linking, and you want to get more Divines out much sooner. I personally wouldn't drop everything you're doing and go invest in a Cooldown Hat until you can make use of it. But if you ever wanted to further increase your DPS at those higher skill levels, yeah, a Cooldown Hat will absolutely help do that. Specifically, according to the Mojuan Discord, a -3 second hat is enough to reduce most of your Divine Arts cooldowns to nearly a DPM level of usage. I'd say only worry about this once you start getting super into playing Mojuan. You probably have way more items to invest in that will boost your damage output for way less working cost before even thinking about worrying over a cooldown hat. Alright, now sequences. 1 for buffs, just consisting of the typical decent skills and maybe Dice or Echo of Hero. Then there's 3 for bursts, starting with this one for a 2-minute burst, consisting of all your typical buffs with a 2-minute cooldown, and other skills that boost damage like a B-Link, Overdrive, your 5th job buffs, and ending all that off with an Oz Ring of your choice. Ideally, Ring of Restraint 4 if you have it. 1-minute burst will be your shorter 1-minute cooldown buffs like Overdrive and a B-Link. If you have another Oz Ring, ideally Weapon Jump 4, you could put that on this sequence and use Ring Swap to utilize that for your mini burst. Lastly, this one for your Origin burst, just omitting your 5th job buffs and other shorter duration buffs. Yeah, apparently you want some extra damage towards your Origin skill, but then get much more damage following up said Origin with the rest of your typical 2-minute sequence, ideally fitting in the remaining burst damage within a B-Link and Ring of Restraint's uptime. Strength Within for all of these is just there to ensure you're at 5 Divine Fist stacks, and is honestly optional if you wanted it as a just-in-case thing, or to save it as its own panic button for whatever reason. Lastly, as a little addendum, currently for some weird reason, Power of Destiny won't show up in your sequence options until you click it manually with your mouse from your skill window in the 5th job tab. Once you do that and add it to sequences, it stays there. But I figured I'd mention that until that gets fixed. Link skills aren't much different from other classes, especially currently when it comes to grinding ones. That might change in the near future, but for now, here's a grinding setup. Evan, Mercedes, Aran, and Lara links are always great staples of any grinding preset, boosting rune duration, combo orb XP, flat XP gained, and extra enemy damage respectively. The rest of the gaps just fill in with whatever else deals damage. Whatever you have is totally fine, really. Just so long as you can one-shot maps, some layout like this. For bossing, AB Link is a must-have for everyone. Same with anything that boosts your damage like crazy. The Demon Links, the Explorer Mage and Thief Links, Hayato and Kana's new links are extremely good, and Arc Solus is similar to Mojuan's own link, stacking and boosting damage. Focus on anything that boosts your damage, use resistance and or Ren links for extra invincibility with every revive and less max health damage taken, respectively, and watch out for new or reworked classes in the future that might contain even better links to use. But yeah, currently some layout like this should work just fine. Inner ability goes like this for a bossing setup. First line, you'll want cooldown skip, because Mojuan is a class heavily focused on a bunch of cooldown skills you cycle around pretty much constantly via Divine Arts. The more those reset, the more damage you can do, and also the more options you have for both form linking and comboing. It can also reset Divine Fist Disciples, though that one's a bit trickier, since I'd argue you're better off keeping it aligned with your burst. Moving on, second line boss damage, and the third line is a choice between abnormal status damage or buff duration. Mojuan Discord recommends buff duration, mainly for a longer AB link, but both are pretty good. Flat attack is always a fine enough settle too, until you get the more desired options. And then for a grinding setup, the gold standard of drop, meso, and normal monster damage. No shock there. It's hard to go wrong with Mojuan's Trinodes. 10 total Trinode options, and you'll want 9 of those 10. The only one you don't want to care about leveling up is Key Disruption, your class bind. It doesn't get Hexa boosted at 6 job. Everything else Trinodes-wise does, so that's why you'll want to max everything else out. Optimally, you can do this across 6 total Trinode slots, looking something like this. Now let's end everything off by explaining Burst. Prepare for bossing in general by making sure loaded dice is set to 5, your key projection is toggled on, in that you have 5 Divine Fist stacks, either through doing 5 form links, or just clicking Strength Within once every minute. Your main burst starts with casting your 2-minute burst sequence, and following that up with Divine Art form links. Ideally, according to this combo string infographic from the Mojuan Discord, assuming form links for each to maximize damage, Erupting Flame into Crashing Earth, immediately into Beneath Heaven being cancelled with a quick slap of Hero's Will, Bind here if you have it, Tearing Wind, hold down Howling Storm for 2 to 3 seconds, and lastly, Black Wind. Afterwards, just cycle back into all your other Divine Art form links that you feel comfortable dishing out. Off burst up every 1 minute is roughly the same, but without Beneath Heaven or your 2-minute cooldown burst buffs. Origin Burst is a little different due to its special little sequence you want on before everything else. Cast your Origin sequence consisting of your longer damage increasing buffs, then cast Origin, and then cycle right back into your main 2-minute burst. As previously stated, there's no right or wrong answers as to how you should combo all your form links optimally, less so with cooldown skips and cooldown hats and such, so try not to sweat over the details of the order of those Divine Arts too much. Swapping between kick and punch Divine Art form links will give more damage, but yeah, you'll figure it out in time. I believe in you. This class is crazy fun to me personally. You get the options for high effort or no effort at all, and that combo system isn't all that scary once you play around with it for a little while. I'm definitely going to gear my Mojuan up and keep her around as a boss mule, especially since she's the leader of my mule guild for the time being. Fun guy. The only scary thing about this class is it being a non-KMS class, meaning bugs can just randomly sprout up and linger around for weeks, months, in some worst case scenarios, well over a year. Like, look at this list from the Mojuan Discord. None of this is a huge deal breaker for me personally, but damn, I get why people are deterred away from wanting to ever main classes that aren't part of canonical Korean MapleStory. Thanks to the Mojuan Discord for all their resources regarding Momo, and helping me make sense of aspects of this class I didn't understand all that much. As always, thanks to you for watching this far, and if this video helped you or you just like it, let me know or toss a like my way. Subscribe if you wanted more. I have ideas for what I want to cover next and have been working towards getting those ready, but some of those are dependent on if Nexon finally gives us the balance patch soon enough for me to cover those in a timely manner. We'll see. Until next time, that's all.